Let's go. You're live. We're live. You're live. What's up, everyone? It's Crypto Okie here. We're just going to talk about Monero today. So this is going to be a Monero only. Monero memes. Gotta get that thumbnail. All right. This is the monthly chart, and it just looks so juicy and kind of just the beginning, honestly, of this move. You can see here in the MACD crossing over. We still have 18 days left in this month, so anything can happen. But I think anything, closing above 200, 190 is going to be great. 190 at minimum, 200 would be better. But if we look back at history, let's look at the MACD first. We're crossing the zero this month. And if we look back at that, that happened, here. It happened in September of 2020. And, you had 7, 8 more months of upside, which again, from the top, even if you bought this at the end of the month, to the top, that had a 300% move. I actually think we're stronger here than we were back here because of the long base, bigger the base, higher in space. So I think we're actually in a better position there in a certain sense. It had already moved, a lot off the lows. There's the COVID crash. Some of these numbers are, geez, that's crazy, $27. But, this had already had, before it crossed over here, it had a good move up. Here, we're just beginning the move. So just want to look at that. Again, the RSI, which they kind of look exactly the same. Also getting up there, breaking out of this range. I like it because you can see the range. They're both good to use for different reasons sometimes. But you can see this kind of, we hadn't broken is it the 55? This dates back to January of 2022, so 2 years. And we're breaking out. So this looks just absolutely fantastic for a big move. I also kind of like how it's been holding the 20-month moving average ever since it broke above it. It's pretty much been staying on it, and now we're breaking off of it. So I think this is the time for Monero. Again, like I said many times, it's a little late, so you always got to take that with a grain of salt. But I do think it's this next kind of move. Monero will lead the pack. And again, I think a teleportation. I don't know what's happening, but again, Monero's the dirtiest. I don't know what you want to call it. By the left. Let's just call it the dirtiest by the left. They think Bitcoin is used by criminals. Oh yeah. Well, it's so funny. I was watching somebody like, oh yeah, everything's easier. All the crimes are easier because of crypto. It's like, yeah, because everything is easier with crypto. It's great. It's great. Fade the left. When in doubt, fade the left. Always fade the left. Maybe one day that'll prove to be untrue, but you want to fade the left right now for sure. Especially if it's one thing that only they're saying. So fade the left. Monero's, not even listed on many exchanges. So you don't have, that's the thing with some of, with XRP and Monero is there's no fluff in this market, There's no retail in this market because they can't buy it. You have to, buy it on a certain exchange, or, you can only, even some of the leveraged exchanges don't have it that you'd think they do. So, and the reason I like that is because it's been sideways for so long. So we don't have anybody who's just selling right now. Yes, it's a little hard to get, but the pressure will come. The relisting because of Trump will come. You just can't be scared of the people. Let the people do what they want, they don't need to tell you that they have money or where it is. So huge fan of Monero on, I mean, it's because of the chart at the end of the day, but I like the narrative as well. You can kind of back that. But again, looking at this green line, you broke it and then you had big upside. So monthly looks absolutely astonishing. Astonishing. Probably going to take these down. Again, the weekly is just showing you that it's in a bull position. So I'm going to delete these for now. Again, last week was a great week. I thought that was good enough. This week's, I mean, I know that it stopped me out. It was unfortunate, but I re-entered and actually even yeah, I'm all good here. I absolutely love this week's candle. I mean, again, comes down, oh no, and then bam, back up. I mean, this is an amazing candle. I think it's going to be green. I don't know how. I think it could be green. We have 2.5 days left, essentially 3 days left. So a lot could happen. I mean, you don't want this thing to be, below 190. You don't want this thing to be, the candle to be anywhere really, definitely not below the 200-week moving average. Another thing, some of these, like XRP, for example, is, you were right by the 200-week moving average. So the move up to this was only 12% to get to the 200-week moving average. Many of the other cryptos had to rise like 50, 100% just to break the 200. And they did break it and it went well, but the strength is already there for Monero. It doesn't have a ton of making up to do. Consensio, shout out Tyler Jenks, is all for this, and it was relatively easy. So I'm really excited here. Looking at some of, just the initial price targets based on, classical charting principles, we just kind of want to just revisit today. It's a little, you can kind of decide how you what kind of pattern you want this. I think it's rectangular for sure. You could kind of make it, a little bit of a triangle action here. And if we measure something like this, top to bottom, 98.3, put the breakout about here. Yeah. So there's my first kind of low target is about 275. That's my initial target. Maybe take 10%, 20. I don't know. It depends on everybody's. If you want to just take a little profit off the table, you can. I think it's going much higher, obviously, but that's just something to, if you want to do classical charting principles, take a little profit there off of this first kind of pump. Now, I do think we're going to go much higher for that. So let's see what else we can kind of anticipate. I don't foresee these highs being too much of a resistance. That's why I also think we'll easily reach this range up here as well. As a kind of a profit taking area, we have 398 to, just being a little bit more conservative. Let's go with the tops over here. So there's my second area, is just this area that's been rejection. So I don't think 270 is going to prove much resistance at all. I do anticipate this 400 to 450, 500, $400 to $500 area as being much more formidable resistance. So I think that's a pretty good take profit area. I have a little, my second area is there. Now, assuming, kind of going back to this chart, assuming we get up to these levels, we have you have a big, it does look similar to XRP, but the difference is you did take out the high here. But, if we get something like this, and then we're up at this level, and then we break higher, we'll have a ascending triangle, which could give us a target of, so this could even go all the way down to here, really. So you could get 440 on top of this. Let's call it 430. 430. It's about $900. So that's another profit target that I would put up there. I think that's more the 6 months to a year target. So about $900, which would be crazy. Which wouldn't. But again, I think I said in a previous video, the drawdown here was again only 81%. Here, the drawdown was 94%. So I do think this will have another high that retraces 90% and doesn't go below $500, that's pretty crazy. $4,000 Monero. I mean, again, with just the way the governments are going, the way people are, I could see this thing really, no one's going to be able to buy it. I could see this thing going higher. So that has some high numbers that I haven't even considered, to be honest with you. But I like that. So let's see. Again, the daily is fine. We'll see how this week ends. We have 2 more days, maybe sideways, maybe another chill day, and then Sunday, Monday, kind of really going higher. But again, we're kind of back in this range. It kind of dropped down, but just the push off here, I think it cannot be ignored. Even just if this, I think I don't know, maybe it'll close back below 200 in the 200 area today before going higher. But I don't think that this doesn't need much time where, we got the 20 day moving average is supporting us. The 200, I don't think we'll revisit for a long while. It stayed on it, down below. Wick, the second day didn't even touch it. And now we're not even close. So really liking Monero from this point of view. If we go to the Bitcoin charts, Monero versus Bitcoin, I also like this kind of double E bottom action. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. It's sometimes hard to read the Bitcoin. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. They don't act the same. The shitcoins kind of just usually have these descending trend lines, and they kind of break them and they break out higher. They don't necessarily always go sideways and have a horizontal break, which is stronger. But I do think it will have something like that. If we look at the daily, and this happened with Stellar, it actually kind of looks similar to Stellar. But, here we have an Eve and Atom one. The Eve one is more rounded usually, and then the Atom is kind of a V. You usually like to see a higher low, but I think it's okay. Also getting, now the 200, it was sloping down, so it was hard to break, and then we came below it. The 200 is now just even. So I anticipate us getting up here, breaking here, and going much, much higher. against Bitcoin. Let me see if I had anything else to say about that. Let's look at XLM versus Bitcoin here, which is okay. So here's what I was thinking. It doesn't look exactly the same, but we had this kind of, let's go back to the weekly first. Let's see if it looks similar. Yeah, this is what I expect to happen. This is crazy. It would be amazing. But you see, you had some sort of, initial bottom. I didn't think we were going to break below it. Honestly, I thought it was going to kind of do something like that. But I have a bunch of lines. But this is what I expect to happen is, again, we had this initial, we're trying to get above the 200-day moving average against Bitcoin. Couldn't do it. And I'm not sure. So couldn't do it because the slope was so much down, so coming down so much. And then it tested it, broke above it. And right as it breaking above it, you can see that the 200 started to go sideways and even up very quickly. And then you had this huge move. So, I mean, and if you look, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, I can do bar replay. I haven't done it. Let's see if I can do bar replay. I always like do it too quick, but yeah, nothing's really out of the ordinary. Okay, nothing's happening. Okay, here we go. Something's happening, right? We hit the 200. It's resistance. We have this kind of trend line that has clearly broken, and you're thinking, okay, maybe it can go up here, and it finally breaks, and then it just crushes that area right here. It just crushes it. It's not like it just goes up and hits. So I think something like that is gonna happen, and then it goes higher with Monero here. So let's go back to Monero. So yeah, it doesn't look imminent, unfortunately. I mean, it doesn't matter necessarily, but you have this pattern. Okay, we kind of came up here. So maybe we need to wait for some sort of, we just need to wait a little bit. It appears. Let's give it a sharp one. Maybe this goes into, oh wait, I'm on bar replay. Wow, that's hilarious. Well, I like it even more now. I like it even more. That is funny. So yeah, we have something similar, very similar to what we just saw with XLM versus BTC. So we have a little bit of a trend line. It's not the greatest. Broke above it, hit the 200. Just that big liquidation event day, which is fine. We're back in this area. I mean, we could probably draw something like this. Yeah, see, it's not even that great. Gosh, I like it even. I like it. This is, XRP and XLM, there's just nothing to say with those right now. It's just because they're kind of doing their thing, but I think there's a lot this is the opportunity right here. Low risk. Because if you're buying XRP and XLM, which I do think are going much higher, obviously the risk is there. There's risk. I don't think there's much risk with Monero. And we haven't seen the breakout yet. So I'm loving this. That's kind of funny. I don't really need this. But again, I don't think this is going to be much resistance at all because it's going sideways. It's not sloping down. You get above this, it's going to start sloping up quickly. We hit this level of 0.003 against Bitcoin, and we're off to the races. And I just like the narratives. You've seen a lot of stuff happening, just lack of trust in governments, and we need to be smaller governments. So it fits the narrative. The chart looks incredible to me. This week is amazing. Last week was great. This week's even better because of it just coming off the lows. Let's see what happens. Let's look at the order book. The order book has been, I've been saying it's been the um, always the crutch, or I don't know what you want to call it, the crux. It's the crux. We got to get a better order book. I don't know, but I think it will. I think it will come along once it goes up. But here's, you're getting some selling at high levels when it goes up. On here, I just don't have the best order books too because it's not on some of the main exchanges. So I'm not the data. I just don't know. It's not on Coinbase. It's not on Binance. I don't think I have something on Binance USD, and I'm not sure what this is. I swear I looked at Binance the other day and they don't even have it, but we are seeing more buying here and against Bitcoin. Yeah, see, there's a lot of buying, selling. So once that figures itself out, which I think it will, also some, the algos will trigger after this week. I think last week was just a liquidation event in the crypto market, had nothing to do with Monero, and seeing it recover to that range is very impressive. It's just as impressive, or if not more impressive than this day. I didn't foresee that coming. I thought this on Sunday, last week on Sunday was confirmation that we're going higher, and we started out Sunday night real great, and then bam. But I think that was a result of the entire crypto market, and it helped the order book too a lot. So I like it. I love that it's regained these levels. Give it a few more days, and then we're hot, going higher. And again, I think this could just teleport to this area, because I don't really see this being too much resistance, in this 330 to 250 range. I just think it's going to go up to $400, $500 in a week. We're setting up where we just have a green candle up. Now, it doesn't have to do that, and it could be more gradual, kind of like it is over here. But I'm thinking it's going to be something like these two candles, where it just goes up. This candle went from 390 to 220. So if we, flip that, here we go. We're at 220 to 390. It just would not surprise me one bit if by Christmas time we're in this $300, $400 range. So that's why I love Monero, because this is there's obviously a lot of opportunity, but the way I trade this is I'm not aware of every single crypto, but this is the one crypto that's on my radar that is tradable at this level. I'm just not gonna. What do you do here if you missed out? On Ripple. See, and again, just looking at, that's why I love this one, is we were just 10%. We were always just 10% away from this big rise. And now we're, that's similar with Monero. And you were never far from that 200-week moving average. So it was pretty easy to go up after you. There was no resistance. And let's just look at Stellar, for instance. It had to rise, it had to rise 70% almost to get to the 200-week moving average. And it didn't face it, but that's why I wasn't as hot. I did not anticipate Stellar being as hot, especially on some of those early days in late November. But it goes with XRP. But this is why I love, again, I got to be more bullish on XRP than XLM, but I love them both. But this is what I'm anticipating out of Monero. Again, breaking the 200-week moving average from it didn't need to go up high. That's why I love it. and now we've broken it. We had a liquidation crash event being bought up. This thing's primed, baby. This thing's primed. Primed for higher numbers. Nobody can buy it. There's no one. The people that have it aren't going to be selling it. If there's nothing has happened for, again, literally nothing has happened for 133 weeks. So it's like, who would up after 133 weeks? I guess I'm giving up on Monero, you know? So I love it. I think this is the one, just for this next, couple of weeks. I'm just saying this is the one you can buy right here and hope for some good gains. Again, I would consider myself just wrong below this, 150 area. That would be very bad, right? If we, for some reason, either in the next couple of days or next week, after this two amazing candles, went down again and took 150 out, that would be very suspect. And I would be like, what the flip? I don't even think we're going to go back to 183. Famous last words, said that last week. But because of this week, now I have two candles to of data. So there you have it, Monero. Yeah. Peace out. Let's go.